Germany files for bankruptcy, and Hatsun Agro gains after a drop in milk prices in Q4 and positive management commentary.
Hello and welcome to Markets Forward, your go-to show where we aim to get you all the key data points from today's trading action and then, of course, gear you up for the next trading day as well. I'm Bandyopadhyay, and with me, as always, my friend and co-host Nigel D'Souza. Nigel, interesting day in the market, consolidation for the large cap space, but I guess it's that broader market which is where the bulk of the action was.
Well, that's right, and we've got you covered for the next 20 minutes with all the big news and also the key market developments on the Wall Street. We'll get you the top corporate voices as well and the events to track that'll prepare you for tomorrow's trading session as well. But let's kick it off with all the day's trading action. Sudip, you go first.
Okay, well, like I said, I guess for the large caps, it was a quiet sort of a session. By the end of it, the Nifty barely managed about a 20-point gain and ended closer to the lower end of the range than the higher end of the range. So there was some caution sort of coming through. If we talk about the movers and shakers, you know, in terms of the upside today, a lot of consumer stocks were doing quite okay. Now, whether that's discretionary consumption that is defined in the likes of auto stocks, you've got Maruti, Eicher, many of those names were up and about, or you look at even, FMCG, staples, FMCG, and other parts of discretionary. By that, I would mean stocks like Titan, Nestle, Britannia. Even HUL, ITC, basically consumer was okay. That part of the market was quite fine. The problem was actually on the commodity side of the market, and that's where the global rally has taken a bit of a break, a bit of a pause as well. So a lot of the oil and gas stocks were on the weaker side, BPCL, for instance. A lot of the metal stocks like JSW Steel, Tata Steel, they've had a huge rally in the last couple of sessions. Today was a bit of a down day. And then, of course, you had Reliance, which finally ended with a cut of about 1.5% after its numbers. But then you had other stocks and sectors that did really well. Telecom was one, and we'll talk about that as we go forward.
Well, Sudip, it was risk on today, and there are two factors that played out. One is no one wants a war, and there is easing of geopolitical tension. So that's point number one. Second factor is the market is coming to terms with that we're going to be getting a third term of the BJP rule government, which has been pro-progress, and also reforms have been in shape. So that's why, in fact, that seems to be the case. Well, the India VIX, that corrected in today's trading session, was down close to around 20% odd. 5 years ago, we saw it down more than 20%. So normally on result announcement day or on counting day, we have seen when the India VIX falls down. So a couple of indications out there. Maybe the markets are getting a little bit more complacent. But I think bulk of the street believes that maybe we're bracing for a breakout of this range. We've been at around this 22,200 odd mark from January onwards. Well, in today's session, the Nifty did come off the high point of the day. It could be a technical factor that played out because you had the Nifty Financial Services Index as well that did play out the weekly expiry. So that one as well did end at the low point of the day. So that had some bit of an overlap out there. The indices, though, in the focus. Forget about the Nifty. Your portfolios are feeling good because the mid-cap and the small-cap indices, both of them saw healthy gains. And there was a lot of participation actually from the broader markets. And you like that. Well, Pharma Index, that's been a rank outperformer so far. But the Pharma Index today did come in for some profit taking. It was down closer around 1% or thereabouts. But let's run you through the lineup that we have on the show for you today. We have the top movers and shakers of the day. Vivek will be filling us in with that. We'll also keep an eye out on Tejas Networks, Hatsun Agro, post their Q4 numbers. While Mahindra Mahindra Financial, that stock slipped after 150 crore fraud as one of its branches in Northeast did come in for an announcement that wasn't very, very favorable. You stay tuned as well to what's buzzing around in today's stocks in trade. CNBC TV 18's popular segment will be next with D Street Chatter. And Nimesh will be joining in to tell us why DLF is buzzing in today's trading session. Last but not the least, we'll delve into the key market events to watch out for tomorrow's trading session. But let's get straight to the action. Vivek standing by. He takes us through the first segment, which tells us about all the stocks that were moving and shaking around. Vivek.
Well, thank you so much for that. Well, quite a few stocks on the radar, given the fact that you had another day where both, the mainstream indices as well as the broader end of the markets did very, very well. But one particular segment of the market that did quite well was the entire Birla Group stock list. All of them did quite well, individual news triggers for a lot of these names, some earnings reactions, Vodafone Idea, actually saw very healthy subscriptions to its FPO. But on the back of that, have a look at all of them. All of the stocks did very well in the session, and Vodafone Idea, being the top gainer in terms of percentage points. The next stock, of course, was Tejas Networks. Very strong set of numbers from the company. The this particular quarter is aided by the company's strong execution of BSNL's 4G project. On the back of that, stock ended at the upper circuit. The next thought was NBCC. Around 2:30, the company gave an update to the exchanges regarding the order inflow as far as FY24 was concerned, and the FY24 order inflow came in at close to 23,500 crore, up significantly on a year-on-year basis. The next stock was Honasa, Mama Earth. The stock surged. There have been a couple of brokerage upgrades that came in. Yesterday, it was the turn of MK to upgrade the target price for the stock over here. Stock ended at over 8%. The next stock on the radar was Hatsun Agro. We spoke to the management as well. Strong set of numbers, encouraging commentary. Stock higher by 9%. Sudarshan Chemicals. Now, this particular stock was a very strong mover as far as the broader end of the markets was concerned. Good volumes too today. So what actually happened over here is one of the competitors of the company on a global scale, which is Heiberg GmbH, actually is going ahead and filing for bankruptcy, and analysts believe that this could be beneficial for the stock. Negative stock flows, Pharma Pack, most of the pharma stocks today were falling in the session. And lastly, MMFSL, Mahindra Mahindra Financial, the news of the fraud was something that dragged the stock lower today.
Okay, Vivek, got that. Thank you very much. Those are the big stocks that moved around. Joining us on the show today are Bala of cashthechaos.com, as well as Sudip Bandyopadhyay of Inditrade Capital. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining in. Sudip, let me just quickly, throw this to you. What did you make of the trends that played out today, where the large cap space seems to be consolidating, but individual stocks, wherever there are good results, good earnings, or good news triggers, they continue to be very handsomely rewarded? Your sense?
Absolutely, Surabhi. I think we believe that the war tensions receding to an extent in the background. I think things are settling back to watching the corporate results. We are in the results season, and based on the results, the market is reacting and pushing up or down the share, respective share. As I think we all are talking about, I think the election result probably is going to give us certainty and continuity, and with that, I think the market risk in the market is coming down. Now, under the circumstances, even if interest rates don't come down in US as well as India, I think market will continue its upward trajectory, and that's what pretty much getting displayed in the market. We have been consolidating for a pretty long in this particular range, and at some point of time, there will be a trigger when we will break out of this. Whether the trigger will be the election results in early June, or the trigger will be a very good monsoon, or some other news. At this stage, it is very difficult to predict. But I think we are waiting for a trigger to break out in the upper, for an upward movement soon.
Okay, all right, got that. Sudip, just stay with us. Let's focus on the sector of the day first up. Telecom, Vodafone Idea was up more than 10%, post its FPO receiving a very, very strong response. And your Indus Towers as well, they did participate. Post the CLSA upgrade, they did come about. Rima joins us to fill us in on both these two names. Rima, take it away.
Thanks so much for that. So Vodafone Idea ends with a gain of more than 10%, and this stock has been an underperformer. There was skepticism surrounding this FPO, whether it will be successful, whether retail will participate, and boy, what a strong subscription it's seen overall, close to about 7 times. So today, some of the underperformance of Vodafone Idea is getting reversed. So year to date, Vodafone Idea is still down 10%, while Bharti is up 28% at a fresh life high, and Indus Towers is up 80%. As we said, the overall subscription strong at 7 times, and this successful FPO paves the way for the company going ahead and raising the bank lending. With that, it's growth capital. They can invest in their 4G network, start their 5G rollout, and that improves the company's competitiveness, which can help in reversing subscriber share loss. Indus Towers has seen another upgrade from CLSA to a buy, target price 450. They believe it's the big beneficiary of Vodafone Idea's fundraise, and even with the 150% up move we've seen in the last 1 year, the stock is still trading at a 60% discount to global peers. So valuations, according to them, are not prohibitive.
All right, thanks for that. Well, staying with the telecom sector, then market expert Sanjeev Prasad of Kotak Institutional Equities believes that this space will remain a 3-player market after Vodafone Idea's fundraise. He also anticipates that post-elections, telcos will go ahead and hike tariffs. Let's hear out what he had to say. Okay, all right. We'll get that bite in just a bit. Rima joins us. Rima still with us to run us through the next stock in focus, which is Tejas Networks. Rima?
Well, it was locked in an upper circuit of 20%, Tejas Networks, on the back of very strong Q4 numbers. Now, Q4 is seasonally strong for this company, which makes telecom equipment, but this time it's a 137% quarter-on-quarter revenue jump, 340% up on a year-on-year basis. With this kind of a top line, the company is turned profitable after 5 consecutive quarters of losses. The company's EBITDA is 150 crore rupees. Profit is up close to about 147 crore rupees. The order book is strong for the last 3 consecutive quarters. The cash in the books is 641 crore rupees. And just leaving you with the annual performance, even on this year, FY24, the company has seen a 168% jump in the profitability with revenues, 168% jump in the revenues, with the revenues now closer to 2,500 crore and the company turning in a profit after 2 quarters of losses.
Okay, all right, Rima, thanks a lot for that. Well, let's go across then to our guests to get a couple of views coming in on some of these stocks that we just covered for you. Well, Jay, you come in first on the telecom names. What do you like? Indus Towers has done very, very well. I think in the last 2 months, it's given you 50% returns. And Vodafone Idea as well is coming out of nowhere. From the telecom pack, technically, what's looking good?
Vodafone Idea, as long as it can hold about 14.25, 14.5, I think it's got some short-term positives. So, but I would not touch it. I don't like the structure and it's too uncomfortable for me. But yeah, Indus Towers, it's still looking like a star, and it's got an unfinished up move. And so probably that might be a better place. But also, I've been bullish on Bharti since November. So Bharti still got higher highs to come through. But, the upsides are more in Indus Towers rather than Bharti. Bharti will probably face stiff resistance around 1,400. Whereas Indus Towers, I think it has potential to scale much higher levels in the medium term as well as in the short term. So from the picking order here would be Indus Towers, followed by Bharti, then at the last Vodafone Idea.
Okay, all right. Thanks for that, Jay. But, Sudip, I want to come across to you and ask you about Tejas Networks, because that stock was up. But another stock that's on our radar is Hatsun Agro. That one was up as well, close to around 10%, posted strong showing in Q4. The chairman, Mr. Chandramohan, said that they're targeting a 15 to 20% growth in sales over the next 2 years. He also said that margins could expand by around 100 to around 150 basis points. He says that Maharashtra currently accounts for around 9% of sales, but they aim to increase it to 20% in a few years. Let's hear out what he had to say.
Normally, January, February, March is our lean month, where procurement will be going down and the sales will not pick up because summer has not come. This time also the same thing, but summer is expected to be very hot. But we are prepared for the summer. We have already done a good procurement of more than 20%, and we are sitting with enough stock to manage the supplies in the summer without any difficulty. And 25-26, we can think of anywhere between 15 to 20% growth. 1.5% we can increase from the present 11.2. Tamil Nadu today accounts for 52%. By end of the year, that is beginning of the next year, I expect it to be 48% because the growth, most of the growth is happening in the new markets. Probably if you leave non-south, it may be about 9% because mostly it is ice cream and not dairy products, except Maharashtra.
Okay, that stock was up over 10% at one point in time, doing very well in today's trade. In fact, other dairy stocks also surged on the back of that good showing from Hatsun Agro in the quarter gone by. Parag Milk, for instance, it gained over 3%. Dodla Dairy surged over 8% as well. So quite a good day for dairy stocks today. Well, with that, let's move on and talk about one stock that had a rough session. Shares of M&M Financial were down about 5% in today's action. This after the company informed the exchanges that a fraud to the extent of 150 crore rupees has been detected at one of its branches in the northeast part of India. Now, the company has also shifted its earnings release to the 30th of May because of this development. Abhishek has more details. Abhishek.
Well, the company was scheduled to have a board meet today to consider Q4 FY24 results, but on account of the fraud that they have discovered in one of their northeast branches, they have deferred the board meet to 38th of May 2024. This fraud that they have discovered is with respect to the retail vehicle loans that they have given out. Fraud involves forgery of the KYC documents that have been presented. So the estimated financial impact of this fraud is unlikely to be more more than rupees 150 crore. So 150 crore is what they have pegged, which forms about 21% of the Q4 FY24 PAT that have been estimated by analysts. And typically, I was speaking to analysts, they say that, they have given loans of 3 to 4 lakh on an average in their portfolio. So around 3,750 to 5,000 accounts would have been, roughly estimated to have been discovered under this fraud. Necessary corrective actions have been identified and few persons involved have been arrested as well. We have some brokerages note coming in. Investec says the amount forms about 15% of Q4 FY24 PBT and 6% of FY24 PBT. IFL Securities says that the quantum of fraud is actually 3.7 times the disbursal per branch and seems to be large for a single branch and likely to be, this might have happened over a period of time rather than at one go. Growth can get impacted in the near term as the management focuses on tightening the control and also providing remedies for this fraud. Macquarie says that issues such as regulatory non-compliance or fraud inhibit re-rating as investors' confidence takes a hit. So unless governance and compliance structures are strengthened, longer-term re-rating will remain elusive. Jeffrey says the amount seems large for a branch. Process changes may affect the growth or, the loan growth in the shorter term. Back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot for that, Abhishek. Well, Sudip, let's come across to you. Mahindra Financial Services, well, they've given out a good guidance. Their last few presentations as well look very good. But now one wonders whether growth will take a slowdown. If that's the case, the return ratios as well get hit. And that ROA target of around 2.5% will be very difficult to come by. What's your view? Will you buy into this dip?
Well, Nigel, I'll wait. I think it's very unfortunate. We were all expecting Mahindra and Mahindra Financial to, show good results. The management commentary has been robust and also expectation of rural recovery, which definitely helps M&M Financial. Under the circumstances, what has happened is unfortunate. It will take some time for the company to set things right and come back on growth path. Yes, the growth will suffer in the interim till systems and processes are reviewed and reset, I would say. So we should brace for a bit of a slowdown as far as disbursals are concerned. It is bound to happen, and probably 1 or 2 quarters we will have to expect slower than normal or expected growth.
All right, gentlemen, we thank you for joining in and giving us your view on a couple of those stocks that we discussed. Wishing you a good rest of the day. Well, let's shift focus to the corporate voices then of the day. First up, Mahindra Logistics is on our radar after it reported its Q4 numbers. The Managing Director and the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Swaminathan, hopes to see double-digit growth in FY25 with stable margins. While for FY26, he's guided for revenue at around 10,000 crore rupees with return on equity at 18%. The company is seeing traction in the auto and the e-commerce sectors. Well, staying with earnings then, Persistent Systems reported a good set of numbers in Q4, but the street was disappointed with the margin guidance. The CEO, Mr. Sandeep Karla, told CNBC TV18 that they aim to achieve $2 billion of revenues and expand margins by around 200 to 300 basis points over the next 3 years. Well, time to slip into a short break. We'll get you our popular segment, D-Street Chatter, along with all the markets you need to track. Stay with us.
Welcome back. You're with us on Markets Forward. Well, as promised, let's find out now what the buzz in dealing rooms was all about today. We have our segment D Street Chatter lined up. Nimesh is here with the latest. Nimesh, so lots of actions in specific mid and small cap stocks today. What did you pick up?
Absolutely. Another strong day for the markets, and again backed by institutional buying as well. So that sums up. The mid-cap index was up 1%, but the VIX, India VIX at an all-time low suggests that over the next 1 month, the markets could be quite range-bound. But in terms of individual names, the first stock is DLF. That was buzzing on large volumes. I understand the buying interest is back, and additionally, Morgan Stanley had put out a tactical buy as well on the stock, suggesting a near-term upside in the short term. So that's DLF, the first name. The second stock is Max Financial. This is interesting. Couple of interesting reports on Max Financials today. CLSA raised the target price to 1400, and even Ambit had initiated a buy as well on Max Financial. But the stock was off highs, essentially on back of some block offers at an FIS. So it ended at day's low, but there is interest now in Max Financial. The third name is SAIL. Within the metal names, this SAIL stood out on back of very good, strong buy flows at an HNIS. So looks like some Asian interest is back in SAIL at these levels. And the last name is Zomato. Well, the mid-cap index was buzzing. A lot of individuals' names were buzzing in trade. Zomato ended at day's low and under pressure on large sell flows from larger FIs. So expect high delivery volumes in Zomato on sell side today.
Okay, thanks for that, Nimesh. Well, before we wrap up, we get you the key market events you need to watch out for. Sonal joins us to fill us in with that list. Sonal?
Thank you for that. Well, some big earnings that we're expecting tomorrow coming in from Hindustan Unilever, Axis Bank and LTI Mindtree. These are from the Nifty pack, but from the broader markets as well, some important numbers to track. We have AU Small Finance Bank, Indian Hotels, Macrotech Developers, Syngene, Chennai Petroleum, Equitas, Small Finance Bank and Nippon Life Asset Management Company as well. There's EGM as well for Muthoot FinCorp, and there is an exit date in terms of dividend for Huhtamaki India. Additionally, NSE will also be launching derivative contracts in Nifty Next 50 index effective tomorrow, that is April 24th. So watch out for that. In terms of global data, not much really happening there, but we do have the durable goods order on a month-on-month basis. The growth data will come out for the month of March. So watch out for that one as well.
Okay, thanks so much for that, Sonal. Well, on that note, though, we'll wrap up on this edition of Markets Forward. We'll be back with more news and updates on the other side.